What if I told you that the direction of your entire life hinges on just 1 hour each day? That how you show up in the stillness of the morning sets the tone for how the universe responds to you? Most people hit snooze on their alarm, and in doing so, they hit snooze on their potential. But you are not here to live on autopilot. You are here to wake up with intention and reclaim the power you were always meant to wield. Before the emails, before the noise, before the responsibilities, you have a choice. The choice to rise as your future self or to repeat the patterns that keep you small. Each morning is a blank canvas, and how you paint those first strokes determines the masterpiece that follows. It's not just about productivity, it's about purpose. When you take control of the morning, you're not just making your bed, you're making your mindset. You're not just stretching your muscles, you're stretching your vision. Do this every morning. Awaken with intention, not urgency. Before your feet touch the ground, say thank you for another day to evolve. Center your thoughts not on problems, but on potential. Speak into existence what you expect of yourself. Write it, see it, breathe it in until it becomes real. Move your body not just for health, but for energy, because motion creates emotion, and emotion drives behavior. Fuel yourself with learning. Even 5 pages of a powerful book can alter your perception, and altered perception reshapes your reality. Your morning is your private meeting with greatness. Most people miss it because they're too busy being busy. But you're not here to be busy. You're here to be legendary. And that starts the moment you stop treating mornings as obligations and start treating them as opportunities. Ask yourself, what version of me walks out that door today? A reactive version driven by the expectations of others, or a conscious creator? And deliberate in every step, you already know the answer. It lives in your routine. 1 hour of clarity will do more for your life than 10 hours of chaos. 1 morning of alignment will open more doors than a year of grinding without direction. You don't need more time, you need more presence. You need to stop waking up to survive and start waking up to build. A morning well owned becomes a life well lived. Every hero you admire had a moment when they decided they would no longer let the world dictate their worth. That moment can be this morning for you. Do this every morning, and over time, your identity will transform. You'll stop doubting and start believing. You'll stop hesitating and start acting. You'll stop hiding and start showing up fully, unapologetically, relentlessly. That first hour of the day is not small. It's everything. It's where legacies are born, silently, consistently, far from the spotlight. So don't just wake up, awaken. Don't just rise, ascend. Because in the beginning of each morning lies the beginning of your next level. Momentum doesn't come from motivation, it comes from movement. Tiny, deliberate, consistent movement, especially when no one's watching, especially in the early hours when the world is asleep and your dreams are wide awake. Every time you choose discipline in the morning, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. That vote may feel invisible today, but in time it adds up to a life that speaks volumes. When you rise with intention, even your smallest actions begin to echo with purpose. That 10-minute stretch isn't just flexibility, it's ownership. That 5-minute journal entry isn't just reflection, it's alignment. The way you begin your day becomes the way you carry yourself through challenges, conversations, decisions. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer drift, you drive. And this right here is the real shift. When you commit to a morning ritual, you stop being a passive character in your life and start becoming the author of it. Do this every morning. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Don't let notifications write your mood. Don't let someone else's crisis become your compass. Instead, take the wheel. Define your intention. Visualize your outcome. Connect to your why so deeply that no setback can shake it. Momentum is built when you stop waiting for the perfect mood and start acting in alignment with your mission. Regardless of the mood, there is a fire inside you, and every morning is a chance to fan that flame. Not with noise, not with chaos, but with clarity, with focus, with deliberate motion. Put your phone face down. Face your vision instead. You'll be amazed how quickly your life starts to reflect your inner world. When you give your inner world your first and best attention, people will wonder what changed. They'll see the glow in your eyes, the conviction in your tone, the confidence in you. Bar stride. What they won't see is the work you did while they were still asleep, the silent battles you won when the sky was still dark. And here's the truth about momentum. It's not a lucky streak. It's not a phase. It's a pattern of power, built when you say yes to growth and no to the comfort that used to lull you back to bed. Built when you stop negotiating with your lesser self. Built when your habits speak louder than your fears. The person you want to be is not some distant dream. They already live within you, buried beneath the habits you tolerate. But when you commit to the morning, truly commit, You remove the layers. You reveal the leader, the warrior, the creator. And here's what's wild. You don't need 3 hours or a perfect environment. You just need to start. Momentum doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things consistently. Don't underestimate what 15 minutes of physical movement can do for your mindset. Don't dismiss what a few deep breaths can do for your anxiety. Don't ignore what writing down a single goal can do for your direction. The compound effect of those simple acts is staggering, and over time, that morning routine becomes something sacred, something unshakable, something that no chaos of the day can undo. Because you've already won, you've already anchored yourself in who you are. Do this every morning, and you will begin to see proof. You'll speak with more certainty. You'll execute with more precision. You'll walk through life like someone who knows where they're going, and more importantly, why they're going there. Others will feel it, and eventually they'll follow. That's the power of momentum. It's not just personal, it's magnetic. If you want to become unstoppable, start by becoming consistent. If you want your days to count, start by owning the ones you begin. And if you want to leave mediocrity behind for good, make this one non-negotiable. Rise each day with intention, move with purpose, and never let the world rush you before you've grounded yourself in who you are. Because when you build momentum, every morning, you don't just move through life, you move it. Success doesn't begin in the spotlight, it begins in the silence, in those sacred moments just after waking, before the world barges in with noise and demands. High performers are already building their edge. They aren't rushing, they aren't reacting, they're rehearsing the life they're committed to living. And the reason their lives look extraordinary isn't luck, it's ritual. Daily, deliberate, disciplined ritual. Look closely at the lives of peak performers, the visionaries, the athletes, the artists who lead their fields, and you will see patterns, habits so consistent they become like gravity. It's not that they always feel motivated, it's that they've architected a routine so embedded in their identity it becomes non-negotiable. Their mornings are not just time, they are training grounds. Their rituals aren't routines, they're rituals of excellence. Do this every morning. Rise before the noise, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. In the early hours when the rest of the world clings to comfort, you're training yourself to choose courage. Begin with hydration. Fuel the body that carries your ambition. Then move. Movement isn't optional, it's initiation. It signals to your brain that today is not going to be passive. It stirs your energy. It sharpens your emotions. It activates the physical foundation of confidence. Then go inward, reflect, write, listen, meditate, pray, or just sit still long enough to remember who you are without distraction. High performers don't just power up their bodies, they power up their minds. They review their goals, not out of pressure, but out of purpose. They rehearse their dreams like musicians practicing before a concert. They remind themselves that the day ahead is not an accident, it's an assignment. This isn't multitasking, this isn't checking emails, this is my it's the rehearsal of a mindset that refuses to be average. And here's what sets high performers apart. They do these rituals even when no one's watching, especially then, because they understand that private discipline leads to public power, that what you build in the shadows is what you reveal in the light. So don't skip this. Don't sleep through it. Don't underestimate what a 30-minute ritual can do to a 24-hour day. These small moments repeated with discipline become an armor. They become your secret weapon when pressure rises, when chaos strikes, when life tests you, because it will. But you will be ready, not reactive. Ready, because you've built a foundation so deep no wind can shake it. You think confidence is a gift? It's not. It's a byproduct of keeping your promises to yourself every single morning. You think resilience is something you're born with? No, it's forged in the early hours when you choose to show up instead of give up. You think clarity is something you wait for? No, it's created in solitude when your mind is clear and your soul is aligned with your purpose. The most powerful people on this planet don't start their day scrolling. They start it sculpting their mindset, sculpting their identity, sculpting their legacy. They take time to feed their minds before the world drains it. They feed their hearts before life tests it. And they feed their spirit before the day demands everything from them. Do this every morning. Ask yourself better questions. Not what do I have to do today, but who do I choose to be today? Not what's on my plate, but what impact will I leave? Ask questions that force your soul to rise. High performers don't settle for motion, they pursue meaning. That's the difference. And the best part, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. You don't need to spend 3 hours, you need to invest 20 focused minutes. You don't need to copy someone else's blueprint, you need to build your own, one that works for your life, your goals, your values. Because real success isn't found in imitation, it's found in integration. taking what works and weaving it into who you are. Rituals aren't about control, they're about freedom. Freedom from chaos, freedom from doubt, freedom from drifting through your days wondering why nothing changes. Rituals are your daily vote for the life you want. And when you cast that vote every morning, your destiny starts to shift. Slowly at first, quietly, but inevitably. So wake up like it matters. Act like your future depends on it, because it does. Own those early moments like a professional. Craft your ritual like a sacred art. Protect that time like it's your lifeline, because it is. You are not just building a routine. You are building the person who will fulfill your purpose, and that person is born every single day before the sun even rises. There is a war happening every morning, and it's not against the world, it's within you. A war between your vision and your fear, between who you are and who you've been told you are, between the version of you that's rising and the voice inside that whispers, "Stay small." But here's the truth. That voice is a fraud, a ghost of old programming, a remnant of past wounds and borrowed beliefs, and the morning is your battlefield, the only place where you can face it head on and win. Every time you open your eyes, that doubt tries to speak. It tells you that you're not the kind of person who sticks to goals, that you're not disciplined enough, not worthy enough, not ready. It's subtle. It's disguised as logic, as realism, as humility. But make no mistake, it's sabotage, and the only way to break it is with action, repetitive, fierce, identity-defining action. Do this every morning. Interrupt the lies. Before you scroll, before you speak to anyone, before you let the world in, speak truth over yourself. Look in the mirror with fire in your eyes and declare exactly who you are becoming. Not someday, not when it's convenient, now. That's how belief is built. Not by hoping, not by waiting, but by confronting every false narrative with undeniable proof. You think you're undisciplined? Then why did you show up this morning? You think you're broken? Then why are you still fighting? You think you're too far behind? Look at you, awake, aware, alive, taking your life back one sunrise at a time. That is not weakness. That is proof of strength so deep the world hasn't even seen it yet. Limiting beliefs aren't facts, they're patterns. Stories you've repeated so many times they've started to sound like truth, but they're just noise. And the way to silence them isn't to argue, it's to outgrow them, to become so consistent in your morning actions, so intentional in your inner dialogue that old beliefs simply can't survive. They suffocate under the weight of your new standards. You don't crush limiting beliefs by reading quotes or listening to hype. You crush them by choosing discomfort over familiarity. You crush them by saying no to the snooze button and yes to the life you were born to lead. You crush them by taking that cold shower, writing that scary thought in your journal, lacing up your shoes when your body screams for comfort. Because each of those acts is a rebellion against the smallness that tried to define you. The old you was reactive. This version is proactive. The old you needed perfect conditions. This one creates them. The old you waited to feel worthy. But now worthiness is not something you earn. It's something you claim. Every morning, relentlessly, without apology. The truth is, belief doesn't come from the outside. It's an internal muscle. And you build it just like any other, through reps, through resistance, through repetition. Every time you act in alignment with your higher self, that muscle gets stronger. Every time you say no to distraction and yes to discipline, that identity gets more real. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to shrink. Do this every morning. Write one lie you're no longer available for. Burn it on paper. Replace it with a truth you'll repeat like a mantra. This isn't toxic positivity. This is strategy. Because if you don't train your mind in the morning, it will default to fear. And fear left unchallenged becomes your reality. But not anymore, not for you. You've chosen the path of the builder, the warrior, the leader of your own mind. You are no longer waiting for permission to rise. You've realized that the only person who ever needed to believe in you was you. And that belief, born each morning in silence and sweat and sacred ritual, will move mountains. This is your rebellion against every limitation, against every generational lie, against every invisible chain that has held you back. And this rebellion is peaceful, powerful, and unstoppable because it begins with awareness and it ends in action. Small actions, real actions, daily proof that you are rewriting the narrative. Let others sleepwalk through their days, chained to outdated beliefs. You are up early, redefining who you are with every breath. This is not just mindset, this is liberation. You are not who you were, you are who you decide to become. And that decision is made not in some grand moment, but every single morning. Do this every morning, And eventually the world will wonder how you became who you are. They'll look at you and think it was magic or luck or a gift you were born with. But they won't see the quiet war you fought before the sun came up. They won't see the decisions made in silence, the promises kept in the dark, the discipline forged when no one was watching. Because this transformation you're building, it doesn't happen in front of an audience. It happens in solitude. It happens when the alarm rings and you answer, not because you feel like it, but because your future depends on it. You want to become unstoppable? Then stop negotiating with weakness. Stop entertaining the stories that keep you small. Stop acting like your dreams are optional. They're not. They are sacred. They are urgent. And they are waiting for you to rise. Not once, not sometimes, but every single morning with the heart of a champion and the clarity of a builder. You don't rise for the applause. You rise because your life is the performance. And every morning is your warm-up, your rehearsal, your sharpening. Do this every morning. Anchor yourself in purpose, not motivation, because motivation fades, not hype, because hype burns out. Anchor yourself in identity, in mission, in the non-negotiable truth that you are here to build something legendary. The world does not reward potential. It rewards execution. And execution is born in preparation. Every great achievement is simply the public reward for private rituals done with ruthless consistency. Unstoppable people are not the loudest. They are the most committed. They don't have more hours in a day. They have more clarity in their mornings. That's the secret. The morning is where the war is won. And if you win the war there, the rest of the day bows to your rhythm. Think about it. When you win the morning, you're not just managing time, you're multiplying it. You're not just getting things done, you're becoming the kind of person who always does. And that identity, that's power. Power that can't be taken. Power that can't be faked. Power that radiates into your work, your relationships, your vision, and your future. Because once you've shown yourself what you're capable of before most people have even opened their eyes, nothing can shake you. Traffic won't throw you off. Negativity can't penetrate. Doubt has no space to land. You've already won, not by accident, but by design. So do this every morning. Take full ownership of your energy, your thoughts, your actions. Stop waiting to feel ready. You don't need to feel ready. You need to act aligned, because clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. And doing with intention day after day is how you develop the one thing every unstoppable person has: certainty.